Caesar dreams of marrying a wonderful fish and even prepares a ring for the beauty, but he learns that the rebellious beauty has escaped from his domain. In anger, he orders her to be searched for in all the bodies of water on earth. Meanwhile, on the riverbank lives Emilia. While his father, a blind blacksmith, works from early morning, the boy secretly sneaks out of the house to go sledding, but the father hears his footsteps and checks if the boy has grown enough to become a helper. Emilia pretends to be small, and the man is saddened, hoping that someday he will grow up. Emilia heads down to the river and casts his fishing rod, but no fish are biting. The boy complains about this, and suddenly the water begins to churn. An icy pillar bursts out of the hole in the ice, splashes Emilia, and a large pike magically appears in his bucket. He rushes home, lights a fire in the stove, and gets ready to cook. Suddenly the fish speaks to him. She is willing to grant him 3 wishes if he releases her back into the river. Emilia accidentally spends his first wish, saying he wants to see the city but doesn't want to get off the stove. The pike makes the stove move out of the hut and head to the city. Emilia clings to the stove as it races down the road, scaring passers-by and animals. Freezing, Emilia stops and spends his second wish, wishing for summer in the middle of winter. The snow is replaced by green grass, and the road turns into a river, where Emilia falls in. He crawls to the shore and is upset. He has spent 2 wishes and got nothing good in return. Emilia is thinking about his third wish when he encounters bandits. Finding nothing valuable, they take his bucket with the pike, but Emilia doesn't intend to give up the fish. He grabs the bucket and starts running, but the bandits chase after him. Emilia throws the pike back into the river, but he himself is caught and hung upside down on a tree. Soon he sees a girl approaching from the river. She frees the boy and he immediately rushes to the water, hoping to find his fish. Of course, it's not there. The girl introduces herself as Vasilisa, and Emilia recognizes the voice of the pike. Emilia takes her scarf, which is actually a scale, and makes his third wish to marry Princess Anfisa, the daughter of Tsar Feofan. At this time in the palace, Princess Anfisa is receiving the English ambassador, Lord Rothman, who is presenting her with exotic gifts. At this moment, the Lord is demonstrating a mechanical organ, which is actually operated by a dwarf inside. While Feofan examines this marvel, Emilia and Vasilisa reach the Tsar's court, climb over the fence, and start observing what's happening. Meanwhile, the Tsar, wanting to outdo the foreign marvel, claims that they have something better, a self-playing bayan, and whoever hears it will start dancing. The Lord asks to see it, and the Tsar orders the bayan to be brought, even though he knows there's no such magical instrument in his treasury. Emilia jumps down from the fence and offers to fetch the miracle bayan, asking in return for marriage to his daughter, Anfisa. The princess is shocked by the audacity of a commoner, but the Tsar is impressed by the boy's bravery and agility. He agrees to do as Emilia wants, and the boy prepares to search for the cat, but Vasilisa warns him that Bayan the cat is a very cunning and dangerous creature. When he meets a person, he asks them to choose a song for him to sing. If a sad song is chosen, the cat sings it, and the person falls asleep and dies in the cat's jaws. But if the cat sings a cheerful song, the person starts dancing and can't stop until they die. However, this doesn't deter Emilia, and Vasilisa goes with him. Soon they reach the dark forest, but here the girl leaves Emilia. He makes his way through the thicket and soon meets the cat. Bayun asks his questions, and Emilia chooses the sad song. The cat starts singing, but the boy suddenly begins to sing along, as this is the song his mother sang to him in childhood. Realizing that the song doesn't affect the boy, Bayun the cat cries, and Emilia pities the cat and treats him to some milk. The cat voluntarily agrees to go to the palace, taking his Bayan along. Meanwhile, Vasilisa is found by a frog, the messenger of Caesar. She reminds her that everything is ready for the wedding and offers her to choose a dress. So, the approaching Emilia overhears this conversation, and the girl explains that she is in debt to the Tsar. He saved her from a net, and she lost a chess game to him. Emilia confidently declares that he could easily beat anyone, even though he doesn't know what chess is. The company returns to the palace, where Lord Rothman proposes to Princess Anfisa. He is interrupted by the arrival of Emilia and Bayan the cat with his bayan. The cat presses the keys, and everyone present starts dancing. The Tsar orders the bayan to be hidden under guard and appoints Bayan the cat as the battle cat. Not wanting to marry a simple peasant, Anfisa comes up with a trick, reminding everyone that she is a Tsar's daughter and that one wish is not enough for her hand. She asks for time to come up with a second wish. At night, Anfisa turns to the ghost of her mother, Serena Agrippina, who comes up with an impossible task for Emilia. In the morning, the Lord tries to impress the Tsar with an English juicer, a vegetable cutter powered by steam with the same dwarf inside. Feofan has to acknowledge the superiority of the foreign contraption, and then Anfisa reminds him of a magic tablecloth, which when spread, produces any food. The Tsar summons Amelia and orders him to find and bring the tablecloth to the palace. Amelia and Vasilisa set out on their journey. On the way, the girl tells him that the magic tablecloth belongs to two brothers, Drinking Man and Eating Man. However, the brothers live beyond the borders of the kingdom in the Stone City. The travelers soon see a small house ahead and ask the owners for some food. The old man offers meager fare and explains that they had a tough year. There was no spring and the fields remained unsown. Amelia feels guilty and Vasilisa praises the couple's faithfulness, comparing them to a needle and thread. But the boy assures her that he and the princess will be even better. He will work in the forge and Anfisa will manage the house and raise the children. Vasilisa only laughs at his dreams. Soon the pair approaches a small bridge with a sign indicating the end of Russian lands. The girl informs him that whoever crosses the bridge forgets the Russian language and can only speak in a foreign tongue, but Amelia doesn't believe her. Vasilisa goes ahead and speaks to Amelia in an incomprehensible language. The frightened boy returns to the bridge, but Vasilisa laughs and he realizes she has played a trick on him and runs after her. Soon they reach the Stone City where they see two men who are constantly eating. Hearing them complain about how tired they are of such a life and that they want someone to take the tablecloth from them, Amelia approaches them and tries to seize the magical item, but the giants throw a coconut at him and he loses consciousness. Then Vasilisa asks them for spring water. They see their reflection in it and they are ashamed. The men remember that they were once brave Cossacks who fought against the Turkish Sultan, but now they have grown so fat that they can't even leave the Stone City. They ask Vasilisa to take the tablecloth. At the last moment, the fat men change their minds, but Vasilisa manages to escape, taking both the tablecloth and Amelia with her. Meanwhile, the Lord tells Anfisa about London, and she dreams of going abroad. Amelia decides to pick flowers for his bride, which Vasilisa doesn't like. The girl tries to open the boy's eyes, but he doesn't believe that the princess wants him dead. He recites the speech he plans to give to his bride, and Vasilisa responds with agreement. However, she immediately corrects herself, reminding him that he wants to marry someone else. Amelia feels doubt for the first time. Later, the princess is informed that Amelia has returned to the city. She and the Tsar rush to the square and see the boy distributing food to the townspeople, provided by the tablecloth. Feofan asks his daughter to reconsider her attitude towards the boy, but she doesn't understand her father's admiration for a commoner. And again, she goes to her mother. Later, Anfisa announces that she is ready to agree to the wedding on the condition that the groom brings back a blessing from her mother from the afterlife. Despite the Tsar's disappointment, Amelia promises to fulfill this condition as well. At night, Vasilisa tells him how to reach the kingdom of the dead, warning him that no one has ever returned from there. Amelia thinks about his third wish, but decides to save it. On the way, Amelia and Vasilisa visit his father, but the boy remains silent, hoping his father won't notice his presence. The old man invites Vasilisa to the table and speaks only good things about Amelia. Then he calls out to his son, for he sees him not with his eyes, but with his heart. Amelia asks for forgiveness for his misdeeds and then makes his last wish to restore his father's sight. Vasilisa fulfills it. Later, when the pair reaches the river, Amelia thanks the girl for her help and returns her scale, but she still continues on with him. Soon they reach the kingdom of Koschei, which is the realm of the dead. Koschei comes out to meet them, and it turns out that Vasilisa is his daughter. He turned her into a pike because she didn't obey him and was a difficult teenager. The girl asks him to summon the spirit of Tsarina Agrippina. He looks at her file and discovers that Agrippina was born a commoner, but as Tsarina, she oppressed the common people greatly, for which she was punished with eternal hunger. Koschei summons Agrippina, and Amelia asks for her blessing to marry her daughter, but the Tsarina refuses. Koschei, realizing that his daughter was asking not for herself and feeling sorry for her, taunts Agrippina with food, promising to lift the curse. She finally gives her blessing, confirming it to the Tsar, Anfisa, and the Lord by appearing before them in a tray's reflection. Feofan rejoices with joy. Vasilisa says goodbye to her father. He reminds her that Amelia will forget everything he has seen and will forget everyone, including Vasilisa. On the way back, the girl tells Amelia about this, and he is horrified, suddenly realizing that Vasilisa is truly dear to him. He shouts that he doesn't want to forget her, but Vasilisa only smiles sadly in response. Meanwhile, the enraged Anfisa summons Agrippina and threatens to clear the attic and banish her from her heart forever. The Tsarina admits that the boy has a magical helper, so since Amelia performed his feats with the help of magic, he can be sentenced to death. But the girl is more interested in the idea of the sorceress. In the morning, Amelia wakes up in the boat and doesn't recognize Vasilisa. He leaves, and Vasilisa once again turns into a pike and dives into the water. Caesar is delighted about the upcoming wedding, but the bride is hiding again. Amelia, meanwhile, comes to Anfisa and suddenly admits that he seems to have fallen in love with someone else, but he can't remember who exactly, as if bewitched. The princess seizes on this word and orders the guards to seize the boy. Amelia is taken to the square, and after announcing that all his feats, performed with the help of magic, are annulled, he is sentenced to execution. Tsar Feofan, saddened by what is happening, leaves. And in his final words, Amelia recalls his childhood and his father, trying to grasp the fleeting memories of something important. And then Vasilisa appears in the square. Having once again escaped from Caesar and taken on a human form, the girl offers Anfisa her service in exchange for Amelia's life. Anfisa agrees and releases Amelia. The boy is thrown out of the gates. With her first wish, Anfisa makes herself a Tsarina. The Tsar's crown is taken away, and he is locked in a tower. Anfisa's second wish is to become the wife of the King of England. Bagpipers immediately enter the gates, delivering a letter proposing marriage from the British ruler, and Lord Rothman is appointed as a dishwasher. For now, Anfisa stops at that. Meanwhile, Amelia returns to his father and tries to remember someone important. The slimmed-down eating man and drinking man, who came to the wedding, are saddened by what happened but can't help. And only when he hears his father say Vasilisa's favorite saying about the needle and thread does he suddenly remember Vasilisa and realize that he loves her, not the princess. He rushes to the city. On the way, he is caught up by his father on the stove, pushed by the two giants. The four of them break through the gates, and Amelia calls for Vasilisa. The girl is surprised that he could remember her, but Anfisa stops her, reminding her of the last wish. However, Amelia is not afraid of the princess, for even if she destroys him, she can do nothing to his friends. Then the princess wishes to become a sorceress herself, to be just like Vasilisa, and Anfisa immediately turns into a pike, but she finds out that her new power is useless since she can only grant other people's wishes. Anfisa calls a servant to her and orders him to repeat after her. The pike dictates her wish, but he wishes for some kvass and asks the pike to find a husband. And immediately, Caesar appears from a well and takes Anfisa to his kingdom. She resists, but realizing she's dealing with a king, agrees to become his queen, thereby breaking Vasilisa's curse. Amelia repeats his speech, to which the girl once agreed, and kisses his bride. Feofan becomes Tsar again, the English lord goes home, and Amelia and Vasilisa go on their honeymoon on the stove. This is where the movie ends.